Right. Hello, beautiful people. Ooh, Jake from the Woods, you're in here early. Hey, I mean, you know, I also like that that other emote. That's fun. All right, welcome back, everybody. Soul Commodore here, back at you again to work on this painting here. I hope you all are having a wonderful Thursday so far, and yeah, welcome on in. We're yo, RB Fox Spirit, how's it going, man? How's it going? Or lady, or other. I say man to everybody, so it's a thing I do. But yeah, good to see you. Glad everybody's joining, and yeah, we're gonna be doing some more work on here. We might be finishing up this painting. Hey, Blue Bubble, how's it going? We might be finishing it up. Probably not, but who knows? Also, yo, Danny, what's going on? What's going on? Ah, very nice. How do you feel about your exams now that they're done? Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. And I'm glad you do too, RB Fox. Yeah. So, quick shout out before we start. I went back down to my hometown to help my dad clean up the place because we're gonna go down there for Christmas. So I went down to my parents' place, help him clean up for a bit. And then I stopped by my old work. I used to work in a Black History Museum, and they gave me this shirt, which has this logo on here. And this logo is actually the logo for the Chatham Colored All-Stars, which was an all-black baseball team based out of Chatham, Ontario, who I believe won the league championship in 1934. Don't quote me on that. It's been a while since I've worked there. But yeah, they had like a baseball. I think it was like a charity baseball game in October, where they had like the old jerseys and everything. It was kind of a fundraiser and also a charity thing. I couldn't play in it, which is just as well because I'm not that good at baseball. But I had a wedding to go to, so I couldn't join in. But yeah, I went down there, say hello to everybody. The thing is in the museum is in a community center too that I used to work at as well, and like my some family members like run programs there, so I was saying hello to them too. And yeah, I got a nice sweater out of it, so I thought I'd rep it today. And here we are. So, with all that being said, let's do some painting. But yeah, shout out to the Chatham Kent Black Mecca Museum for hooking me up with this shirt. This isn't really a sponsor thing because the director is just a very sweet lady who's, you know, she's got a lot of heart. She's about yay tall, but she's got a lot of heart, and she really cares about people. So, you know, shout out to Dorothy and Sam and everyone else involved with the museum. See, they didn't have this kind of merch when I was working there. This is all new, so it's cool when you see places that you've left improve and grow. You know. So I'm just getting some paint together here, and I've got the chat up here too. So let me scroll through. Oh, you had to do a painting in 2 hours. Yeah, I'll if you want to put it in your story, yeah, I'd love to check that out. Yeah, Danny, it was cool. It was cool. It was it's nice to see the museum doing well, because it was kind of it was in better shape when I left, but it was kind of in rocky shape for a while, so it's nice to see them doing well and growing. Yeah. Hey, no problem. No problem, RB. I appreciate you coming in. You can chat as much or as little as you want to. I hope the work isn't too taxing for you. Like I said, eventually I'm going to set up another camera so you can actually see me while I'm putting paint on my palette here. So it's not just, you know, me over in this corner all by myself. All right. Okay, so I think what we're going to start with today is I'm going to start putting some more highlights in this pavement, just to make it look more wet like we did up here. And, you know, we added this puddle with the legs in it. And yeah, we're going to do some more on this side, because this pavement isn't all just dark, you know. And then once that's done, I think it's just going to be like a few little small details here and there, and then we can start abstracting. So, grab my brush that I'm going to use, which is going to be another flathead brush, I think. We'll start with that at least. Cool. So I'll check that out during our first break, since I'm currently using my phone as the camera, and if I if I open up Instagram, there would be no video feed. But yeah, I'll make sure I check that out. How do you feel the landscape went? All right, so we'll reposition this a little bit and bring you a little bit closer. There we are. And see if I can angle this down a bit, because we're going to be working down here some. Good. What type of landscape was it? What what was the setting? Don't mind me. I'm just bringing up. For the last stream, I had my reference image all set and ready to go, but for some reason, this one I decided not to. All right. Here we go. All right. Cool. Ah, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Well, I'm glad that it's not too taxing. So is it like learning like how to operate the website or like how to implement stuff on it? Cool, cool. Thanks for putting the landscape up on there too, because I want to see that. So basically what we're doing now is we're just going to pick spots to like highlight on here, right? To sort of, you know, reinforce the idea that this pavement is wet, you know? So there's going to be like lighter areas and some darker areas. So that's basically what we're working on now. Hey, Sputnik Pop, thank you for the lurk. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like the puddle. Also, I sang my lurk song in a different key, in a lower key today, because on the drive down to my hometown, down to Chatham, I might have blown out my voice singing. So, gotta do a slightly lower key than we would otherwise. But yeah, that puddle was fun. That puddle was it was an idea that came to me while I was laying in bed looking at the painting one night, and I was like, I wonder if that would look good. You know, add a little bit of a surrealist element to it that's kind of menacing. You know, it may not seem menacing to you, actually. That's the beauty of interpretation. I was going for a menacing look, but some people might just be like, it's weird or funny, and, you know, that works too. Ah, very cool, very cool. Very nice. So is it like a website, like, because I know my website's based off of WordPress. Is it sort of like that, or like GoDaddy, or Squarespace, something like that? Oh, it was definitely worth it. I love singing just at the top of my lungs, you know. So it was worth it. Just, you know, my voice is a little sore today, that's all. But yeah, it's always worth it. It's especially worth it if you can get someone looking at your car because they can hear you even though your window's closed. That didn't happen yesterday, but that's also worth it. But yeah, I hope everybody's having a very nice Thursday. Hope you've had a good week so far. We got a lot of Christmas shopping done this week, which was nice. Didn't have to fight with too many crowds because it's not like super busy yet. So basically this technique that I'm using here is getting just, you know, a little bit of paint on the brush. And then I'm just kind of going back and forth through these areas until the paint starts to run out. And what that does is it makes it very easy to sort of like give like highlights of areas, you know. And as a result, these areas tend to look like they're wet, you know. And you just sort of let the paint naturally run out so that it kind of sneakily blends in with the background, you know. So it's a nice way to cheat blending when the background paint's already dry. Ah, I see. That's cool though. That's cool. That's cool. That sounds like it's pretty intuitive and user-friendly. Okay, so we've been doing these highlighted areas. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in some darker areas, like around these wheels. They're still going to be gray, but they're going to be darker. To sort of give like a shadow effect, even though it's wet pavement. That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I was saying on Tuesday how I don't really mind crowds when I'm shopping. I just don't like browsing all that much. I like going in, getting what I need, and then leaving, you know? That's the way I like to shop. I don't tend to like to flag down workers and be like, hey, do you have this in the back or anything like that? Like, I'll just leave if they don't have it, you know? That tends to be more my style. So you see we've got a little bit of a shadow here now. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad. Sometimes the most frustrating thing in the world is unintuitive tech that you're trying to learn how to use. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I don't mind the crowds. It's more just the act of shopping that I tend not to like so much, but that's how it goes. And it's usually not too bad. The one thing that I don't like is, and I don't like this regardless of any holidays or anything, is I don't like parking at malls and stuff like that. That's really what gets crazy hectic, is trying to find a parking space. And I like to park far away from people. Anyway, I don't have a nice car or anything, but it just, you know, it's easier to like find pull through spots, and like I don't mind walking up to the stores. You know, I find it's just an easier experience parking far away, but when the parking lot is full, you can't really do that. Like, it doesn't really matter. It's just busy everywhere. So, that's the one part that I gotta kind of put up with. But we were lucky. We got about 80% of our Christmas shopping done. So, Yo, Rough Matty Art, how's it going? How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Also, thank you for the follow. I just realized a corner of this box that this camera's sitting on is showing up in the video. Let me fix that real quick. But I hope the day is treating you well. We're just doing some more details on this pavement. Making it look a little bit more wet because this is happening on a rainy day. This particular painting. So we're just working on that. Oh, well, I appreciate you doing that. But yeah, welcome in. I'm happy that you found us. When I'm painting, yeah, I mainly use acrylic, mostly because I don't have any oil paint. But I haven't used oil paint in a while. But I do. I like oil paint, but there's just something about acrylic. I think it's the fact that you have to like work fast with it because it dries really quickly. And I find it a little more workable for me, just personally. But one of these days I'll do some work in oil because I do like oil. I really love the effects that you can get with oil. Yeah, one of these days I'll do an oil painting on here. Alright, so that's one tire area done because I don't think I'm going to do too much more with that in terms of the highlights. Now we just move up here. Do the same thing with this tire reflection. Maybe we'll do a little bit more here. Yeah, that looks good so far. Ah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. That's how I started out with the acrylics too. You know, before learning that you cannot afford to go slow. So it took some doing, but I feel like I finally got to a place where I could work fast enough with it. The one thing I do like about acrylic too is I've mentioned this many times on the channel before, but I'll mention it again. Because if there's one thing that I'm known for, it's repeating myself. But one thing that I do like about acrylic a lot is, obviously, an artist's mistakes are usually in the eye of the beholder. There are things that I have in my own artwork that I consider a mistake that other people wouldn't, right? They wouldn't even pick up on it as a mistake. And that's fair enough, and I'm grateful that they wouldn't. But if I notice something about my artwork that I don't particularly like, or I wish I did differently, with acrylic, it's really nice because all I have to do is, like, I don't know, wait 3 minutes, and then it'll be dry, and then I can paint right over it, with what I meant to do. With oil, you kind of have to work with the mistakes that you make, unless you're willing to wait, days for the painting to dry, Which brings up a nice challenge with oil paint. But I do like the fact that I have the flexibility to just wait a minute and then paint over a perceived mistake that I made with acrylic. Which is a nice little bonus with the acrylic paint. You can control Z a lot easier, I find. Now you guys might hear some background noise again, because once again it's Thursday, so my girlfriend is going to be in the other room doing a Zoom workout with her Dragon Boat team. And they're killer workouts, and she's a really good instructor, so if you hear any noise in the background, someone said, I wish one of you guys said that it kind of sounded like her voice kind of matched the lo-fi beats, because it's kind of low, like you're hearing it through the door, so like our bedroom door, so it's kind of distant, and it kind of works with the music. So if you hear it, just pretend that's what it is. Oh, that's true. That's true. You can wipe it away. And I think that's the thing. Like, I tend to, with acrylics especially, is I work very thinly. I don't build up a whole lot of paint, because in my own personal paintings, I don't like having a whole lot of texture with the paint. I want it to be as flat as possible, which usually means like working with very, very thin layers of paint. And I kind of work with oils the same way, yeah. But, yeah. Okay, so I think we'll just do a little bit more with this pavement here, and then we'll leave it alone. And then we'll take a little break. I'll put up my be right back sign, and then I'll run an ad. And like I said, you guys can tune out for the minute, because it's only going to be a 30-second ad. You guys can tune out, you can install an ad blocker, you can do all of that. You certainly don't have to watch the ad, because I know I'm not a fan of ads. So, like I said, I don't do this for any sort of revenue or anything. I do this because I like hanging out with y'all and painting some pretty pictures. I hope they're pretty. But yeah, we'll just finish this part here, and then do that little break, and then we'll come back and do some more. And right now I'm covering up this parking space line that was here, because I'm going to be redoing that as we move forward. You know, if I did digital art, I could see myself doing that a lot, actually. I would probably do the exact same thing. So, there ain't no shame in that. Alright, so I'm just going to throw up my Be Right Back screen, and we're going to run a quick ad, like I said, and then we'll come back. So if you want to go grab a snack or something, grab something to drink, use the restroom, whatever you got to do. And then we'll be back here in about a minute, minute and a half, and yeah, we'll get back to it. So I will be right back. All right, and we're back. Thank you for your patience, everybody, and welcome back. Return and find button on paperbook. Yes, yes. Oh yeah. I don't like taking too long breaks unless like I have to use the restroom or something, or like clean off one of my bigger brushes that I wash off in the sink because yep. Yeah, I could. Maybe one day I'll open up to playing a few more ads, but for now I like to keep it quick and brief, and then we can get back to the paint or the drawing. I haven't done a drawing on here in a while. Maybe the next thing we'll do is a drawing. I don't know. But yeah, we're just finishing up some of this pavement here, and then I'm gonna do a quick reflection of this light pole here, and then I think not all the details are done, but I think what I want to do is actually I want to build up a couple of different layers of abstraction. So I think the next thing we'll do is do some abstraction, and then we'll come back, add a few more details, and then we'll kind of layer it like that, because I've never done it that way before, so I think that would be a fun experiment. Charcoal. Yeah, I do charcoal drawings. I used to do graphite. Actually, graphite was the only method by which I did do drawings. And then I had a teacher in my second year university open my eyes to the possibilities of charcoal, and I got hooked. Now here I am years later, still doing charcoal drawings. Although I don't do as many as I used to. Charcoal drawings used to be my bread and butter. Okay, so we'll leave that, and now we'll do some reflection up here. make this pavement look really, really nice and wet. Also, Jake from the Woods, if you're still in here, did you stream today? If so, I apologize because I missed it. I was doing some errands and some fun bank stuff today, and trying a whole bunch of different places to try and find eggnog. Because my girlfriend really likes eggnog. I'm not a fan of it. Which is weird because I have a tremendous sweet tooth. But eggnog is too much for me. It's too rich for me. It's like drinking custard, which I guess technically that's what you're doing. But it was just, it's too rich for my blood. Which, yeah, again, is weird because I'm usually all about sweet things. But, yeah, eggnog is just a bridge too far for me. But my girlfriend likes it, so. But a whole bunch of grocery stores were sold out of it, so. That's fair. I've never tried eggnog with rum in it, so maybe I would like that better, and maybe a few spices. And I'd probably like it better if it was homemade. But Blue Bubble, funny story about that I'll tell now, because I don't think I've told this one yet. When I was in my final year of university, I had a painting teacher who he and I didn't really get along because he didn't like the stuff that I did, which was photorealism. He hated realism. He thought, why do realism? You could just take a picture. It's like, well, okay, that's one way to look at it. Anyway, we didn't get along, but we did a project that was a Plein Air Project. So, for those of you who don't know, Plein air is a technique in which you just go out into nature and you paint what you see. Basically, you're just in an open space and you paint that space while you're in it. That's plein air painting. And it was a class that I think there were 13 or 14 of us in that class. I'll say 14, right? And he had run this particular project every year that he had been teaching. And basically, there was a river, the Thames River ran right by the school. And there's kind of like a wooded area that went down into it, right? The 13 other students in the class went down and painted all the trees and foliage and all that, and the river and all that. I turned my easel around and I painted the school. And my professor said that in all the years that he had done that project, he had never once had a student paint the school. And he wondered, much like Blue Bubble, like, why was that? And the answer is very, very simple that I gave him and that I'll give you. I find man-made structures and people and environments like that, I just find them more interesting than plants and trees. Plants and trees are beautiful, and I like being among them. Like, I like going camping, and I like being out in nature for a certain amount of time, and then I end up missing my bed, and I want to get back home. But on the whole, I just find buildings and people and structures and stuff like this more visually interesting to look at for me. But yeah, I don't think I got good marks on that project. To be fair, I don't think it was a great painting. I think I've actually since painted over it with another painting. But yeah, he was very surprised that I decided to do that. But yeah, I've always enjoyed looking at paintings of landscapes out in nature, but I much prefer cityscapes. And even if it's like a rural setting, but there's like some semblance of like human structure there, like a barn or a house or a silo that's all rusted out or something like that. Ah, Jake, welcome back. Yeah, exactly, Blue Bubble. Like there's a story there. Oh, you're streaming that this weekend coming up? Oh, streamed. Ah, fair. So that's what you were doing today? What am I doing? Right. I forgot what I was doing. I finished all the details that I want to do thus far, so now we're going to go into the abstraction a little more. So we shall do that. Ah, very cool. I like that. I will check that out, because Saturday morning. Am I doing anything Saturday morning? I don't think I'm doing anything Saturday morning. I'm going to have to check my schedule, which is up here, because I'd never write anything down. But I should be able to check out your streams. I will definitely make time for it, even if it's just briefly. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna shout out Jake from the Woods real quick. So for all of you who don't know, Jake from the Woods is a real life friend of mine. We go way back. He streams very awesome Pokemon content, Legend of Zelda content. So if you're into gaming at all, and you also like the vibe of like, you know, just chill, hanging out, you know, having some fun, like this channel is, you should check out Jake, because Jake's a good guy. He's a mensch. He's a fantastic person, and if you enjoy my stuff, I think you'll like him too. All right, so I'm gonna grab my palette knife, and we're going to do a little bit of abstraction today. Like I said, I'm gonna try something new. Usually, I save all of this abstraction stuff until the very end of the painting. Like I'll do all the representational stuff, and then. Hey, no problem, Jake. Yeah, I'll save it for the very end. Like, I'll do all the representational stuff. I'll finish that painting with all the details, all the bells and whistles, and then I'll start abstracting over top of it. But I want to try something a little more layered. So, for instance, here, like, there's going to be a logo and, like, phone number on this truck, right? But we already abstracted it, which got me thinking, well, if I paint the logo over top and then abstract some more over that, I think that would be an interesting thing to try. So we're going to do that with the rest of the painting. So I'm going to start out by abstracting, and then we'll paint over it with some more details and then abstract some more. So I'm going to grab some black paint, and I'll demonstrate what I do to like mix paint. So you got your palette knife, right? You grab a little bit of the one color that you want, right, and a little bit of the other color that you want, and you kind of just rub them together, like flattening out your knife like that, right? And you just kind of rub it like that until you get a nice consistent color, or as consistent as you want it. And then once that's done, you kind of drag the edge of the knife on there so that you get a nice little roll of paint like that. And then from there, you just put it down where you want. I want this actually a little brighter. And I try, like I've said before, I do try to color match the areas that I'm going to be abstracting with the palette knife. I try to color match it with the rest of the painting, so I don't I'm not going to put any crazy purple in here. I try to keep it consistent with the colors that already exist in the painting. So, we're going to abstract on the truck a little more, because there are some parts of this that I didn't particularly enjoy the first time. Yeah, like Bob Ross. Yeah. Except I found that he actually paints actual things with his palette knife. I just use it to make a mess. Because that's fun. You know. And what else we want to do? I think we're going to do down here a little bit. Well, thank you for the lurk, Jake. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Like I said, it's a little pitched down today because I blew my voice out driving to my hometown yesterday. So my singing voice is a little raw. Speaking voice is okay so far. Alright. So we're going to put some marks down here, coming off the truck and into the pavement. And what we're looking for here is kind of like a glitch effect. That's the whole basis of this series of paintings that I'm doing is basically a deconstruction of reality, which was spurred on by thinking about how for a lot of people my age and around that same age group, because I was born in 1990, there's a lot of things that previous generations had access to that we don't, like being able to buy a house, wages that are actually competitive with the demands of inflation and all that kind of stuff. Just stuff that we don't have access to that was definitely, I don't know if I want to say more common, but it was definitely more realistic to be 32 years old, like I'm going to be in a couple of months, and owning a house, or at least having enough for a down payment on a house, So reality is kind of abstract in a way for us based on what previous generations had. And I started kind of playing with that, and it's like, well, it's sort of like stuff is just falling apart around us. Even though technically we live in the safest era there's ever been, the richest era there's ever been, it's still a lot of stuff that falls through the cracks, and it definitely feels like things are just crumbling for a lot of people. It's not great for a lot of people's mental health. And that's kind of where the genesis of this idea came out of. That, and it was fun just playing around with a palette knife and, making marks and making it seem like it was sort of a glitch, almost if you remember VHS tapes, how you would have to track the video because the tracking would be off and everything would be kind of glitched out. That's kind of the effect that I'm going for with this. And you sort of look at all the stuff that happened socially over the past couple of years, with the Black Lives Matter movement and all that kind of stuff, and that greatly affected me. And I was finally people are waking up to a reality that I had known for a long time, right? And yet still people push back against it, and they have their reasons, and I understand, but that's another thing in which, like, it sort of seems like reality is distorted, because I learned in 2020 that there were a number of people that I held in high regard that didn't have the greatest opinions of black people demonstrating their frustration with the system. This is kind of a wake-up call, and this is kind of born out of that as well. Sort of like a disillusionment, I suppose. Now, all that being said, I don't want this to... I hope this doesn't come across like I'm a cynical person. I like to think of myself as I'm a realist optimist. I try to keep a real perspective on how things are going, but I try to look on the bright side anyway. You know. And I do count my blessings, and I, am very thankful and grateful that I'm living in the time that we are right now instead of like 1950, because that wouldn't have been good for someone of my complexion either, But there are just sometimes things that frustrate you, and this series as a whole, I think, kind of comes out of that frustration. I hope that made sense. Yeah. This has been a very, very weird, like, half decade. But you know what? Hey, it's alright, because we're all here, and we're all hopefully doing okay, and we're just gonna have some fun. But yeah, that's the genesis of the idea of this abstraction that I do in these paintings. Because I think the last time I was doing this, someone was curious about that, and I wasn't sure if I explained it fully enough. Or maybe I'm just imagining things. So, this isn't all the abstraction that we're going to do on the van, but I think I'm going to keep it here for now. And I think we're going to move over here, because I'm going to be more selective with... It's going to cover the breadth of this painting, but I'm going to be a little bit more selective with what I abstract over here. So... Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Rough Matty. Yeah, I'm also doing this because I know some people have been curious in the past what the process is for this abstraction that I do. So here it is. So what are you all looking forward to this weekend? What do you got going on? Well, thank you, Rough Maddie. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's I've noticed that it's a lot of digital artists, which is great for me because I cannot do digital art at all. Like, I'm not very good at it at all, so I like being able to see what people can come up with. But yeah, it is kind of nice that coming across someone who also does traditional art. Nothing much this weekend, Blue Bubble. That's all right. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a nice, relaxing weekend. Those are sometimes my favorite weekends. Ooh, art museum sounds fun. Also, yeah, I'm gonna have to check out some of your artwork because I noticed that you had liked, and I think you followed me on Instagram too. So I'll have to check out your work. Which, thank you for that, by the way. But yeah, the art museum sounds fun. Is there any sort of special exhibition going on right now, or? Okay. Also, for anyone interested, because I've said before that I like to clean my brushes as I go because there tends to, because acrylic dries so quickly, it gums up in the bristles. You want to try and clean your palette knife often as well, because the same thing can happen. It happens less frequently, but still, the acrylic paint can start to dry on the knife, and then you get left with like these clumps of just balls of dry paint on your painting, which can be a real pain to remove if it's in a particularly wet area, even though it's acrylic, or if you don't notice it at first and then you notice it later on and you try to peel it off and it takes a bunch of the paint with it. Take it from me, it's it's annoying. That's fair. I like that. I like that. I like that blue. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, keeping the values the same would definitely keep it looking realistic. Fair, fair, fair. Photography, that's another thing that I took a course on it when I was in university, and I really enjoyed the course, but man, like, analog photography is hard. Like, with actual film, it's very difficult. Yeah, that sounds like a fun time. Okay, let's get some red in here and a little bit of black. And I think our next order of business is going to be doing this Lucky's Convenience. Let me see if I can bring the camera in a little closer. There, hopefully that works. So here's a question too for the artists for everybody actually. Whatever creative endeavors that you undertake, whether it's art or whether you like playing music or singing or playing video games or what have you, what got you interested in that particular endeavor? I'll start. I've been drawing and stuff since I was 2 years old. Apparently my dad fell asleep watching me because my mom was at work, and my dad was working night shifts, so he was supposed to be watching me while my mom was at work, and he ended up dozing off on the couch. And I, at 2 years old, found a Sharpie or some other sort of permanent marker, and then just started drawing all over our apartment. Like all over the walls, all over the furniture. And my dad had absolutely no idea until he woke up. And he had some explaining to do from my mom. Thankfully, I was 2, so I didn't get in trouble. Because I didn't know what I was doing was wrong. Which is a nice little bonus. But yeah, I've always kind of enjoyed art and making my own world, if you will. Which is part of the reason why, when it comes to video games, I feel like I'm so drawn to RPGs, because I love the world building that goes on inside of RPGs, particularly. So. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be an artistic endeavor. It could just be whatever your favorite hobby is. But what got you into it? Oh, you're the same, Blue? Yeah, uh-oh is right. Yeah, it's a nice little outlet for, getting all the stuff that's in my brain out of it, Okay, now we're going to move up here, do some abstraction on this light pole.
Fair, fair, fair. You know, that's exactly what it is. Like you said, Blue Bubble is just pure creation. And you can make your own rules as you go, which is another thing that really appeals to me with art. Yep. Yep, exactly.
Been into music and fine arts? Nice. What type of music? Or what types of music? There we go. I think this is coming together very nicely.
Very nice, very nice. I haven't heard much ska or punk ska, but I like all those other things too. Especially like jazz and funk, personally. I mean, my name is part of my name comes from a funk band, so. Yes, it is. It is. She runs workouts on Zoom for, and in person, but tonight's on Zoom for her Dragon Boat team, or one of the Dragon Boat teams that's in the organization that she races out of. So, yeah, she's just doing a Zoom workout in the other room. All right. So this is looking pretty good so far, I think. I'm not actually going to take a break, but I'm just going to take a little water break because hydration is important. All right. So, what do we want to do next? Yeah, she is pretty amazing. She likes to keep busy, and I marvel at the fact that she can keep track of all the things that she's got on the go. I do not have that talent. Alright. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to switch back to doing more detail stuff. Now that we've spent a good amount of time abstracting most of this block of the painting. So, I think I'm going to start doing some details on this light right here. So let me see if I can zoom this in. Give a little better view of it. And we're going to grab some smaller brushes. Make sure that they're cleaned off. There we go. There's one. I had to fix that brush. The brush that I just picked up is there's a lot of bristles that are flaring on it, so I have to fix that. Which you just fixed. Here, I'll bring up the brush actually. Where is it? Ah, here you go. So, sometimes you'll find that you have a brush that does this. You know, all the bristles are starting to flare out. What I do to fix that usually is I just get like a razor blade or an X-Acto knife or something, and I just snip those off, like right at the root where they come out here. And that usually fixes the problem. I just haven't gotten around to it with this particular brush yet. But oh, there's my other small brush. Cool. Alright, so I'm gonna go up on my reference image, and this is a reference image that I took in a town near me on a rainy day, just in a parking lot. There were a lot more cars, but I thought, you know, I think it makes a more visually interesting image if there aren't any other cars in the parking lot. It's just the van. So, all right. So we're just going to come up here, start putting in some highlights and some details. You see, this area here is what I was talking about, because there's a... Yo, Adult Charlie, thank you for the, thank you for the follow, I appreciate it. Oh, blue, oh, alright, blue bubble, I see what you're going. Oh, well, thank you, Rough Matty. I appreciate you coming out, that's no worries, no worries. Thanks for hanging out. We're going to be here for another 45 minutes or so, so hopefully you're back. But if you're not, thank you for checking out the stream. I appreciate it. All right. Blue. We got to put something blue in here. Okay. I know exactly where I'm going to put some blue in here. Yeah, and also thank you for the conversation. This it was fun. Okay, so we're going to zoom in here because we're going to put some blue in this sign. Because the blue bubble redeemed the color picker, which means he can choose, anybody can choose, like if you redeem that, you get to choose the next color that I use. So we're going to use some blue in this sign here. So we're going to start with the 7. I just realized that this looks really hazy, so I will Hopefully you trust that I'm using blue, because like here's the brush, so it is blue. And we'll come across here. And we'll just come in here and finish off that M. There we go. And I don't know that that actually showed up blue on the there we go. I don't know that that actually showed up blue on the on. It doesn't really show up blue on camera, but I promise that I used blue. Okay, let's zoom back out. Also, are you all like me? Do you get frustrated when you try to play music on your streams and then YouTube just decides to not loop the music? Hey, thanks, Adult Charlie. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Everybody bear with me. I'm just gonna play this music again. There we go. That's better. And this turned out kind of washed out, so let me see if I can fix the color balance. That's better. There we go. Cool. Is there anything else on here that I can make blue that will actually show up blue? Actually, there's some blue in this painting already, so what I'll do, Blue Bubble, before we continue, is I'll get my palette knife and we'll throw some blue in and around that area of the painting as a nice abstracted element. And that should show up more blue than this did. Okay, so we'll just throw a little blue over here, and then we'll throw some up in the sky here, coming through the tree. And we'll have it travel a little bit, and some will show up in the a little bit will show up in the truck here, which actually might dictate the color of the logo that we do in here. Maybe it'll be a blue. There we go. Alright, so we'll throw that back in there. And then we'll come back to doing the details up here as soon as I find the brush that I was using. It's crazy. I don't know. Obviously, I don't live alone anymore, but when I did, it was amazing the number of things that I would lose, even though I was the only one in my house that would use them. You know? It was kind of scary in a way. Here, but even here, like, there's stuff that I'll lose that I know my girlfriend doesn't use. I just lost them myself, even though I was just using them, you know? Cool. I look forward to looking at it, Blue Bubble. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Or day, wherever you are. Or morning, afternoon. Whatever time of day, I hope you have a great rest of it. But yeah, thanks for hanging out. And hopefully we'll see you next time. Alright. And I am going to zoom in a little bit just because we're working on this light up here. Oh. Sorry about that, Blue Bubble. Yeah, no, that shouldn't have been deleted. I'm gonna fix that. But, yes. Bye. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the MooBot setting, so I'm gonna have to change that setting because I think it deleted that comment because of the repeated letters. But yeah, sorry about that. We're gonna get that fixed. Gotta show MooBots who's boss. Alright. So basically what we're doing here is I'm just adding a few highlights in the light up here. Because the light's not on, obviously, because it's daytime, but there's still going to be highlights in it. And details such as like where the light actually exists. There we go. There's one. Now there's just a couple more to go. So we'll do this one next. I'm not sure if that's showing up for you, but hopefully it is. Because, I mean, we're working, like, gray on black, so it is a little dark. But hopefully it's showing up at least a little bit. Here we go. It's two. I'll move on to this light here. I'm not sure about you all who also do art, but I know that one thing that helped me, like, obviously I had a teacher, I've talked about her before in high school, who taught me that when you're working from life, painting or drawing from life, to make sure that you draw what you see and not what you think you see, because your brain likes to play tricks on you. Your brain likes to be like, I know what that looks like. Your brain doesn't actually know what it looks like. It's guessing. So it's important to actually, when you're working from life or a reference like I am, that you actually draw and paint what's there. If you're looking for like realism, obviously, if you're going for abstraction or, you know, cubism or some other sort of surrealist quality, like it doesn't matter as much. But as far as that goes, another trick that has helped me sort of like retrain myself to actually look at what I'm doing is to treat all these things that I'm painting as shapes instead of what they are, you know? Because it's really easy to like look at this lamppost and be like, I mean, I'm painting a lamppost. It's not that difficult to paint a lamppost. Instead of doing that though, I'm focused on painting shapes. So for instance, this right here, like where the light actually exists in the lamppost, I wasn't painting that light. I had to like trick my brain into like, we're just painting a rectangle, a parallelogram actually. And same with all these highlights and everything. You're just painting a section of this 3D shape rather than, you know, painting a light post. And I find that a big thing with me with painting and trying to paint realistically was I was always worried that I wouldn't be able to pull it off. Like it wouldn't look realistic. But that little trick of like, you're not trying to paint what it is that you're painting, you're trying to paint shapes, actually really helped me because I'm not so focused on making this look like a lamppost. I'm focused on making sure that the shapes are right and that the colors are right. And then you step back from it afterwards and it's like, oh, it's a lamppost, you know? So I don't know, that I feel that has helped me over the years. We're coming up soon on our second break of the day. So yeah, we're going to take a quick break, just a minute or so. I'm going to run like a quick 30-second ad because, you know, I have to run ads now. And like I've said before, feel free to use that break to go get some water, install an ad block if you want. Go grab a snack, use the restroom, do some push-ups, whatever you want to do. I'm going to grab some water, and then we'll come back and we'll continue working. Alright. But we're not doing that quite yet. We still got some time. Another minute or so. And then we'll do that. Ooh. I'm going to try not to get paint all over my hands. But that's not always successful. Alright. So, like I said, I'm going to take a quick break here. And then, yeah, it'll just be a couple of minutes. And then when we come back, we'll continue on with this. Alright, so everybody just hang tight. All right, and we're back. We're back. Thank you for your patience, and welcome back, everybody. All right, so let's get back to it. All right. Oh man. So our vent is running right now, and the vent is right over our bed and just to my back over here. And thankfully, like, I don't want to complain that, oh, it's too hot. Like, we have heat, which is amazing, because there's a lot of people who don't have heat. But the one thing is, our neighbors upstairs are cooking something that smells really, really good, and I don't have it, you know, because they have it up there, and it's kind of a problem, because it smells delicious. It smells absolutely delicious. So I'm just washing off my brush here, because now we're going to go back over this area with black, and we're not going to paint in what we did, but we are going to sort of redefine these edges a bit. Which will only serve to highlight these areas even more. At least that's the hope. So yeah, just kind of sharpening the edges. And this is just a pure black that I'm using, pure Mars black. I tend to tell people when they're learning how to paint not to use just straight black. You should mix it with another color because it just enriches and deepens that black. Because there's so few things in nature and even man-made that are pure black, right? But for details like this, like, you can use just pure black, like it'll be fine. But like if you're painting a sky, you know, again, unless you're not, this is all with the caveat that you're trying to make something look realistic, like a realist style. But even like the night sky isn't pure black, you know, there's all sorts of other different colors in the sky. So you don't want to make it 100% black. Unless, of course, that's the look you're going for. But if you're going for a realistic look, what painting something just a pure black tends to just flatten it. Because it's not a very rich color, you know. It's just black, right? So you have to add some richness to it by like mixing in like a red, and the black is like deep enough that it's not going to come off as like a watered down black either. It's just going to add like a different temperature to the black, and will only serve to heighten the richness of that part of the painting that you're painting black. So that's my advice for that. But if you're painting something that's, you know, like this, like I said, it's not as important that you do that. Okay. So I'm gonna grab this brush over here. we go. What I'm doing now is I'm just sort of cleaning up the outside edge by just introducing some white, trying to color match with the background. There we go. Do that up here too. Oop. I think I say this every single stream, and I'll probably never stop saying it. So I apologize if it feels redundant, but I do appreciate all y'all coming out tonight and, you know, watching me paint for a little bit, and you know, for participating in the chat, and even if you don't do that, just, you know, watching. You know, I really do appreciate it. It feels good building like a little community here that you know, I'll just get together and enjoy some artwork and some creation. Okay, so I'm gonna wash off these brushes, then we're gonna zoom out. Here we go. And I think what we're gonna do, I think we're going to do some details here on the front of this building, and maybe work on a few more details within these buildings. Even though we've abstracted over it already, we're going to paint over some of those abstractions and then abstract it again if we feel we need to later on. So, let me go grab my tiny little brush, make sure that that's thoroughly washed. There we go. And you know what? In case, because I don't think I've shown some of you new guys, some of you new people, what it is that we're working on. So I took this this photo at a parking lot in a mall, like not too long ago. It was a rainy night. And I always thought that it would be cool to paint it. So that's what we're doing, although we're adding more stuff to it. Hey, Zelshot, thank you for the lurk. I always feel like somebody's watching me. But thank you for the lurk, sir. I appreciate it. I hope you're having a good night. Hope you had a good day today. I'm sorry I've been busy for your past couple of streams, but I look forward to tuning in again and watching those VODs. Alright. So, let's see what we're working with here. I'm going to get some of this red and black together. I'm just gonna paint some lines in here. It's a little hard to see, but I'll bring the camera in as much as I can to show you what it is that we're doing here. Alright, and then we'll paint underneath here. There we go. And oops. That wasn't supposed to be white. There we go. Okay, we're going to put a little light in there, I think. But we're going to do that with a clean brush, because that brush is covered in black and gray paint. And that won't show up very well. Won't translate. There we go, we got a little halo of light. There we go. Oops. I kind of messed that up. But that happens. We'll just kind of... Oh. There we go. Alright. So let me grab the camera and see if I can bring you guys in to show you what that looked like, what we just did. Because I'm gonna have to bring my computer with me. That's okay. So that's the area we just worked on, right there at the center of the screen there. And I'm gonna fix that light a little bit later on, but you know, we're not quite wrapping up for the day yet, but this is what the painting looks like as a whole so far. So coming together pretty well, I think. So we'll just put all this stuff back real quick. Get you guys back in place. Moving the camera goes so much smoother when I actually bring the computer with me, because it's attached to the computer. Alright. Now, like I said, I am going to fix that light that we painted in here. I just have to wait for that paint to dry a little more. in the meantime, let's do a little bit more abstraction with the palette knife, I think. Let's do that. Let's grab some white on our palette knife here. Yeah, we're winding down our time together, so we'll finish with a bit of abstraction. One of these days I'll do a longer stream when I have a little bit more time on my hands. Let's see. Do some stuff over here. Some white over here. Yeah, in terms of picking where I abstract on a piece like this, like a piece in this series, it really depends on a couple of factors. The biggest factor is just where I think the abstraction will look good. You know, that's the biggest element to it. But another element is sort of picking like what we want to do, what we want to abstract. Because there are some paintings where I've abstracted all over the entire thing. Some where it's just one specific spot is abstracted. And some, like this one, where it's specific spots, but it's more widespread. Like, I'm not, I guess the idea that I want in this painting, my thought was like maybe whoever's legs these are reflected in this in this puddle here, whoever that is, because he's not showing up here in real life, maybe he has a hand in, like, or it, I should say, because we don't know what it is. It maybe has a hand in all this abstraction that's going on, and maybe that's an interesting element that we could tie in here. You know, so this down here, like, I'm not going to abstract it all down in this corner, but everything else is going to get touched, you know. But that's my particular idea for this painting. But other paintings are different. Other paintings will have different areas affected, just depending on the narrative that I'm trying to get across. Well, excuse me. That was a sneeze. I wish I didn't have a loud sneeze. Both my parents have loud sneezes. Like my dad has a very loud sneeze. My mom had a very loud sneeze. I kind of inherited that from them. But it's alright. It gets people attention. Gets the people going, you know. Gets them talking. There we go. And we're coming up on the end here. Let's do the last few bits. This part is probably going to be... I should probably move the camera. This part over here is probably going to be off the edge of the canvas, but that's alright. Like once I stretch the painting. But that's alright. Nobody, there's no rule saying that the edges of a painting can't also be interesting to look at. All right. I think I'm going to take some of the color that's in this building here and move it up here. Because I haven't done that too much yet. There we go. Like I was saying earlier, I do try to color match as much as possible when I'm doing this abstraction. Like I try not to just, you know, like take like a random color, like a really bright yellow and just plant that somewhere in here. I do try to use colors that already exist within the painting. Which leads to some frustration sometimes trying to color match. And it's like, how in the world did I make that color? And why can't I make it again? Alright. So, I think once again I'm going to grab my computer here and bring you all out so you can have a good look. Trying to figure this out when you're... There we go. So this is our painting so far. So it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. I'm pretty pleased so far. We're almost done with it, I think. Just a few more things we got to do, and then, yeah, that painting will be done. So, I'm actually going to put the camera right here on my computer. I'm going to move the computer up here with the painting in the background because we're going to go find somebody to raid, I think, because we're coming to the end of this particular session here. So, let's see, who can we raid? Let me bring up Twitch real quick. I have caps lock on for some reason. I don't know why. That's interesting though. Yeah. And we're gonna search art, the art category, and see what we can find. It looks like there's someone here named Scrodello who is currently painting live like we do, but with oil paint. So I use acrylic, they're using oil. So let's go say hello to this person. Alright, so let's spell their name Scrodello. Yeah, there we go. No, not that. There we go. So we're gonna go raid Scrodello, who's doing live oil painting. I don't know anything about this person, but they seem like they're doing some pretty interesting work. So we're gonna go say hello. So with that, I hope that you all have a wonderful night. Thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna be back here Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. So yeah, we'll probably finish this painting off the next time we get together. So I hope you all had a wonderful time. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and let's go have some fun with Scrodello, shall we? All right, y'all have a good night.